Another week has passed. The first week is over. Second week is here. Welcome everybody to the CCL Game Day pre-show. And as always, I'm joined by K-Bot, Vaughn, Borg, and SynticZz. Fellas, how are you doing? How are you feeling?
It was a great week. Excited that games are back in action, both in the CCL and in other collegiate esports. I got a couple first matches for some of my other teams this week, so good to see everybody back in competition, getting back into the normal flow of the semester. A lot of fun and an incredibly exciting time.
Indeed. Vaughn, how are you feeling?
What he said.
Cool.
What he said,
I love the copy
Vaughn,
and paste.
you're going to be a man of few words tonight, aren't you?
Hey, speak softly and carry a big stick, as Theodore Roosevelt said.
Hey,
Teddy Roosevelt said. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
auto-corrected that one IRL as I said it, so. What K-Bot said, I think he said it great. That's all that needs to be said.
There's somebody also on the desk that looks like that they don't need to carry a big stick. It's Borg and the Gee. How's it going?
Yeah. Well, I have plenty of words to say, as usual. I'm feeling good. I got some chicken here I want to show the audience. Look at that. Looks beautiful. I'm about to start munching on that throughout the pre-show. And in turn, you know, because I got some beautiful Japanese fried chicken, I wore my jujitsu gi in spirit. So hope you enjoy that, everybody.
Very cool. And somebody else who's munching here, SynticZz, what are you munching on? What you eating?
Oh, he just took a bite.
You took a bite.
New apartment as well.
Bad time to
New
take a
apartment,
bite.
too.
Bad time to take a
I
bite.
like the wood
apartment,
paneling in the
freshly
background,
moved
too. The fireplace. Woo!
It's quite big.
Yeah.
Yeah. Josh's desk is right there. You can't see. Well, you can see his chair right here.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, we just moved into our new place, and yeah, it's pretty nice. What I'm eating,
Yes.
I'm eating whoever we beat in CCL last week.
So some prime rib from Dallas, I'm guessing. You know,
Yeah.
with some Comet
Shout
dust.
out to UT Dallas. How
Shout
far
out to
they've fallen.
Richardson. Shout out to Richardson, Texas. Well, look, it's just week one. More teams will become.
Brutal.
Both tech teams lost this week, and I'm upset. It's okay though. It's fine. They put Storm on the B team. I'm like, why are you putting Storm on the B team, NJIT? What the heck's wrong with y'all? So it's okay. It's fine. It's all right. We move.
Yo,
And,
I do want to shout out someone though.
Yes.
Anime Gamer 001. I heard they were on the Switch. Kind of played like a bit of a beast. And I know that the Switch is like notorious for being like the worst to play OS on because it only gives you like what 30 FPS or something.
oh yeah, it's
So,
like capped. It's super capped.
Shout out to Anime Gamer. Like a beast.
UTD is handicapped. I'll say it.
Yeah, there was a handicap there, so there you go. Let's move on here, though. We didn't have a whole lot of upsets, not a whole lot of matches that moved the needle so much, but we did have two technical upsets from our data team. Shout out to a named player for doing the work on the data team as well, and to the entire CCL data team here. UTulsa 2-0 over Case Western Reserve University Spartans. Case Western was predicted the winner by the data team, and then NC State 2-1 over CU Boulder. We were all pretty much saying that it was going to be a close match anyway. Technically, that's an upset, but the entire desk voted for NC State, so I don't think that matters that much as well. Some other close matches here too. RIT Orange 2-1 over St. Clair Saints. The older roster beating the new revamped roster. Pretty cool, fun match there. I believe that's all on Beepo's channel. If you want to check the VOD for that, go check that game out. York Spartan Strikers 2-1 over Esports at Oregon State Orange. That one was a close one. And then another one that was interestingly close. SLU Strikers 2-1 over Auburn Esports A. And you're starting to see maybe, you know, SLU, yes, they're in a rebuilding phase, but they played with Coin this week. Why did they go 2-1, guys?
Because they're at a rebuilding phase. What?
They played with Coin.
Well, I
though.
got one
Hey, Bot,
simple
you have to be a
answer.
stick in the mud about it. Well,
Oh,
obviously,
okay. My
that's what I'm
bad.
trying to figure out.
Elaborate.
Me, when I want to be a grouch and just kill the question right away, I'm Kenneth Bottom, and I work in esports, but I
not
forget
call
to
him
act
Kenneth
like it
Bottom.
because
Oh,
it's
my-
CCL. Anyway, Dylan, to answer your very well-phrased question as a jumping-off point for it, and not to be a stick in the mud, I think there's a lot to be figured out. I think Trademark, Coin, and Zoro have been playing the game together for over a year now. There's going to be some training wheels and some new tactics and some new synergy to be had, especially between some of these new SLU players who, let's be honest, aren't some of the top contenders in their position. So I think they still have the veteran leadership, and Zoro's really never looked better as a competitor. As a guy as well, hey, good-looking man.
Great-looking man.
Shout out Zoro.
Happy
never looked
21st
better in
birthday,
both
by the way, to
ways.
Zoro. I think that was like last week or
Wow,
week before
and he
last.
can have his
Happy
first
birthday.
drink of alcohol now.
He sent me a photo of him at like a bar, like with a cigar and whiskey. And I was like, dude's living the life right now. This Zoro lives his life at like a 9 or 8 or 9 out of 10 at all times. I mean, the guy, I love the guy. He goes crazy. He's got a character. He's got a character indeed. I'm pretty sure he'll be able to help out this team as it goes forward as well. Just a surprising result here. Technically a little surprising.
Okay. To actually answer the question after doing a little bit more digging, let's be clear. Auburn Esports A team is no slouch, okay? They're a respectable opponent, especially as a week 1. They're probably on the rougher side of week 1 draws. Especially for a team like SLU, who you might expect to be pretty high up there. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think that team's any slouch by looking at it. Tiger Slasher leading that crew. They've been building a good program there, so it's not surprising that that crew is popping up. And 3Z's just kind of doing.
Bro is just gone. Okay, well
It's all right.
It's all right. It's totally fine. Oh, he's back. Hi 3Z, how's it going? Love the
Hello.
Miami shorts, by the way. Those are dope.
Thank you.
Those are sick. Any hootalolly. Let's move on here to the stats roundup. Did you make a face at me, K-Bot, when I said any hootalolly?
Yes, I did.
Have you never heard that before?
No, I have not.
Any hootalolly. Oh, dang it! Any
Nice try.
I ruined it. I messed it up. It's fine. It's okay. Let's move on to the stats portion of the broadcast. Shout out to Name Player for making all this stuff. And 7 of the stats leaders coming from the same exact game. That NC State Wolfpack versus CU Boulder Strikers game was insane. Longest game, 27 minutes. A game one that lasts 27 minutes. Most goals, IM Arch got 8 this past week. Most saves, week 1, game 1, 124 saves by Wet. So Weston, shout out Weston there. Most shots on goal from Wumper Nugget, 129. Most redirects from Wumper Nugget, 304. And Lextrick gobbling up the most orbs, 43 in that game 1. All of these stats coming from majority of that game 1 match. We have a nice little spreadsheet here, fellas. What other stats are you looking at right now? Are kind of like picking your fancy?
So I always take a look at the stats that are normalized for time spent in the game, because that's great having a high number, but how much does it compare towards the amount of time you spent actually in the game? Guess who some of our leaders are up there in that time? This team holds both the number 1 and number 3 spot in assists per minute, and number 3 spot and number 5 spot in goals per minute. That's right, 3Z. It's the Longhorns. Nick and Mr. Flambeau lore. This shows me that this is a team that's already clicking, which is no surprise, right? This roster has been together for quite some time now, but they're already clicking. They're already working through their passing plays. And even if it was a weaker opponent in week 1 that they're going up against, being able to execute on some of those passing plays and getting that assist number up especially, it bodes well for what this might mean for this team heading into the rest of the season.
Indeed, they handed that roster at Ole Miss a insane L there. Shortest game, dethroning Texas Tech Black versus Fanshawe as the shortest game this week. Took them up, I think it was about by 15, 20 seconds. So shout out to Longhorn Esports out there. Vaughn, any stats that you're looking at right now?
Yeah, something that I actually enjoyed when I poked my head around some of these games, and something that I've actually liked a lot more compared to maybe NASA or NASA, is I actually really enjoy the times that Amy's app is picked. I think in a lot of higher tier like organized play, like in my head I have separate from organized play and collegiate, because in collegiate you don't necessarily choose your teammates. It's you know, come together and build something as one, as opposed to, you know, in organized play you can pick and choose who you play with. A lot of times teams will stay away from Amy's app because of the assumed high level of variance, and obviously a bit of a polarizing Erasmus pick, but I am one of the people that actually believe that Amy's app is a red-sided map, and I actually am not really scared of being red-sided on Amy's. You can always threaten that Erasmus on first pick blue, but if your forwards are on the ball and potentially you have other ways of navigating around it, you can either let it through and trade it for some really good bis on round 1 and round 2, or you can just ban it and then you get some really strong combination of like Drakkar, Julie, Amy, Asher. One of the only maps where I think Juliet really can still shine in how the game is currently operating, and I think a lot of these CCL forwards have a Julie. So I enjoy seeing the map picked so much, only behind Lab and Night Market, which are the historically most popular maps in the game. So I really liked seeing that a lot, and kind of no surprise to me, but I want to shout out the Texas Tech Red team in their NGIT match picking Demon Deus. The only time the map was picked, I think the map's actually kind of really enjoyable to play. Has actually more playstyles than people maybe assume, as it's kind of dubbed as like the KO map, but if anything, that's kind of Atlas Lab in my opinion. But I understand why people dislike the map for its incredibly unique design and the sound waves. So I was a lot more interested in the stats of where are people going, what sides are they picking, because we don't really have a ton of info on CCL with Snake Draft and the difference in how to approach like map pick bans. So I wanted to bring that up, and I wanted to shout out that series for being the only Demon Deus pick. So I'd like to see another map on it, but I really like seeing the Amy's app picks. I'm curious to see what other series will feature that map, as I think it's the most interesting to me because it's the least explored map in that higher level of play. So I want to see more of it for sure.
I can give a little bit of input on that Texas Tech pick as well. It's been in our back pocket all summer long. We've been working on improving at that map and stuff, and we were like, you know what, better time than never than do it week 1. Maybe throw off some potential plannings and stuff, and it's mainly from the comfort picks that they had as well. That X Nitro on that X, Saber on the Feeney, because that little pool there that Feeney has can like redo the core into that goal barrier multiple times and get it down. And then of course you've got the Asher on Firebird of Night, Firebird on the Asher on the goal. So I mean, it didn't work out, but hey, I'm excited that my team's cooking.
No, that's a good strategy. I always love trying to go for more niche things, but Dylan, I can't let you get away with what you just said. What is Finney's special called?
Shoot, man, I'm own status now, bro. Magical.
Well, we'll let Chad answer that. We'll let Chad answer that. Because I know, and I know Kenneth knows, and maybe some of my other cookcasters know. I know casting experience, so I think we all know, but Unk does it. So I'll just leave it at that. Chat knows the
Big
answer.
finish. Big finish.
By the way, Vaughn, on Demon Deus, apparently half the league hates it. 20 times banned. I am curious to know whether or not it's a first ban or a second ban, because that could
it's very frequently the first ban, which is something that actually we actually get that option. I think most teams just really dislike how the midfield of the map operates, and then if you're not very comfortable with your goalie midfield synergy, very easy to double own barrier. It's almost always the first map ban from Team A because they just don't want to risk Team B potentially taking them there, which is over 50%, over 75% of the map ban. Sometimes banned in Phase 2, but I think that's going to be a pretty standard practice. It seems to be the least favorite map from last season of this league, so I expect it to continue. And a named player, you need to fix the spelling because it's spelled wrong. Thank you, though. All right, that's all I got.
You usually see Atlas Lab and Night Market left over as your last map, which are solid map 3 picks, but you also see them getting picked as well. Around the same amount of times banned too. It's very interesting to see how all these work. But preseason, I believe name player was like, "Oh, Imi's app is not going to be picked," and I'm like, "Imi's app got picked 7 times this week." So, we'll see how it goes from there. Borg, any thoughts on the stats on the stat sheet?
I do. I'll keep it short and sweet. I got two shout outs. One of them was also technically a shout out last week, but I'll stick with one of the games that was actually on stream. Looking at the stats kind of just like solidified it for me. Basically, Pina Enjoyer at Esports at OSU Black really impressed me with the Estelle play. I thought they looked really, really good on the Estelle. Felt like they were kind of the the backbone of the teams. I mean, really, just like from the midfield, just kind of the team's everything, at least in that game. And has third in both shots and redirects per 10 minutes. So congrats to Peanut and Joy. You're now on my radar. Enjoy. And then I got a shout out. I mean, seeing the name on the stat sheet here. Let me go find it again. Where is he?
I think I said this to you pre-recording, and you were
there
like,
he is. Yep.
oh.
Top 10 KOs per 10 minutes. Number 7, Daniel Sodium, who is the shout out from Team RPI. I told you I'm keeping a lookout for you. I'm keeping a lookout. I'll shout you out every week I see you and you're relevant. So well done, Daniel Sodium. I'm pretty sure you lost your game. However, you still averaged more than 3 KOs per 10 minutes, which in my book means a lot. So well done there. And I'm excited to see you in a future week. But there's my shout outs.
Before we go to ThreeZz, I want to do shout out ThreeZz here in top 10 KOs in a single game with 7 against the UTD Comets this past week. Dude's a straight stone-faced killer out here. Love to see that. ThreeZz, outside of that, though, what are you looking at stats-wise?
Yeah, I want to reiterate that it's really interesting. The Demon Days bans, only 4 bans in the second phase. I think we even banned it in the first phase. I think a lot of the reason is just because goalies aren't as comfortable on that map. Some of the clears, clearing a Casper can be hard for some goalies, but yeah, that map is just hard to navigate, and especially earlier in the season. Maybe you'll see some teams kind of try and scrim on it and practice it a lot. Later, I want to shout out the NJIT Lowlanders. They have 2 members in the top 10 KOs per 10, Ant and Zero. We saw them play with Marie Meg last season on the main roster, now on the B team, but putting up A+ stats. Number 5 and 6 in top 10 KOs per 10 minutes. So shout out to them both with 3.51 if I'm reading this correctly. So that's a lot.
Antsy and Zero also getting 12.8k damage and 12.2k damage respectively per 10 minutes as well. So shout out to them too. That second team's looking like a very interesting one to look out and keep tabs on. They might be like the UCF last season where both these teams make it into the playoffs. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Again, it's just week 1, fellas. It's just week 1. There's not a whole lot that we could stake a claim on. Unless we're talking predictions. We can stake a claim on predictions. We can do that next here. And big shouts here to myself, ThreeZz, and Vaughn for getting 100% grades. Shout out to Borg for staying at 500, getting his thing there too. Ache actually made some pick'ems for CCL, and one of the questions was, how close is Borg going to be to getting 500 at the end of the season?
Wait, really?
So, yeah.
I didn't see that.
Oh, yeah. So if
I never
somebody
saw
wins
that.
they're going to get the profit in-game title, so that's pretty fun.
Hey, I'm 100%, so there you go.
Did you get last season? Did you get 50?
He got it up to week 8, and then at week 8
Yeah.
everything crumbled. And so, I mean, we were having the watch every single time. So we'll see if he can do it again and get past that week 8, maybe into the play-ins playoff stage. But hey, congratulations, Borg and Kenneth. 5 out of 6, not bad at all. St. Clair believer. St. Clair
Believer, which apparently was a close game. I was trying to look for the VOD, but I couldn't find it myself. So I'll have to go back and watch that one. But I was close. All right, that's fine.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. You were close. I mean, everybody was close. Very good pick'ems from us, especially for Borg, because Borg's trying to do that 500 thing. So great stuff there. Let's move on to our 6 featured games for this week here. Let's start out here. GCU Crandors versus Texas State Esports, which I realize I put on the scripts as CGU Crandors. My bad. But GCU Crandors and Texas State, both these teams winning their first matches. Bit of a Southwestern matchup here. K-Bot, who do you got?
Texas State, very storied Collegiate Omega Strikers program. They went pretty far in the original beta tournament. Meanwhile, GCU consistently has 2 teams enter. I like the Crandors this year. I like GCU Crandors too. Electric Boogaloo, they look better in the queues. Give me them to take their game this week.
Love the Q mentality here. Vaughn, what are you thinking?
You know, this is actually one of the couple games that I'm actually not sure how I feel about which team is going to win. it's tough. I feel like both sides have some pretty solid options. One that I'm looking at is I think that Jacob is actually a pretty solid goalie, and I'm
The beast.
curious if Crandors gets a rune ban, which in my opinion is the most played character for Ikigai. I wonder how their offense will be. I'm assuming that probably happened in one of their games. The guy's most played is Rune. I'm curious if they'll be able to convert effectively against Texas State. I'm gonna go with Texas State. I actually was almost before the show. I have written down Crandors, but I'm gonna go with Texas State. I think I'm gonna do a 2-1. I have absolutely no info on Texas State's forwards. Like I honestly couldn't tell you much. Like I don't know. They're an unknown quantity. But I think they're gonna do okay. I'm gonna give them a 2-1 to Texas State. It's just call it a hunch. Call believing in Jacob. But I'm down to see a bit of win from Texas State.
I was about to ask, like, why did you write down Crandors and just flip now? But I mean, a hunch. I mean, if it's a gut feeling, it's a gut feeling.
Hey,
all right.
It's just that gut feeling. All right.
I like that. I like that. Borg, what are you thinking? You've got a puzzled look on your face, my friend.
I'm trying to remember who Ikigai was.
Again.
Shrail Mix.
Okay, I remember now. Yeah, this is a tough one. I think we're all... This week is going to break a lot of prediction streaks here. I might be going 4-6 this week. Might have to go 2-6 the next week to fix it. But I think I'm just going to give it... It's hard. I've always been a Chi Jacob believer. Always has. And Nice Claps is on that team. So it's hard to vote against them. But you know what? The art that I will not speak of that we have in the chat, I think convinced me. The Crandors are going to be taking... The Crandors are going to be taking this one. I think it'll also be a 2-1. And also the fact that I have heard the whispers of the GCU boys in the queues. So I can believe in them this week. I'm down.
For those who don't know, the GCU Steves have used to be the Necromancers. Now they're the Steves. They have a interesting logo in MS Paint. And before that, they had a first logo that we had to deny. So, yeah, we showed them that before we talked today, and man.
Well, now you're just blue balling them even more.
I mean,
That's
nowhere's
true.
no. Nowhere's no. I'll
Yeah,
just
there
say
you
that.
go.
Some people in the league have seen it, so just putting that out
man.
there. 3Z, what are you thinking?
I've seen this Texas State roster perform time and again. I think I really like them. As we mentioned, Chi Jacob, a big beast in the box, holds it the F down. And then Nice Claps and Ozzy, I see them perform really well above their rank in solo queue. And they've been playing together, I think, for a long time, this roster. So I'm going to give it to Texas State. I think the Crandors are a tough opponent. So it should be a close one. But like Vaughn, I've got my trust in Texas State here.
Yeah, I would also potentially say Texas State here, and biggest reason I would say Texas State here, Ozzy, highest KOs in 10 minutes. Woo. Stats. Okay, Texas bias is back. Okay. Thank you. I forgot that existed. It's been a long summer. It's been a long
How did you
summer.
forget that existed?
I just did. I don't know. I'm kind of. I don't know, but
it's called delusion, K-Bot.
It's called delusion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's called
Real.
delusion. Texas State is looking really, really good. They've been running with this Jacob, Nice Claps, Ozzy lineup for a while. Yes, this is a test in this second week against GCU, against a program that's been building and building and building. I think Texas State gets the edge. I think it's close, 2-1. No disrespect or hate to GCU, but I think Texas State takes this one, especially after their week 1 performance. That is our
I don't
first.
like only
Yes.
being in agreement with Borg.
Interesting.
I don't like that.
You don't like that one, Pet?
That's all
It's called
right.
flipping a coin, K-Bot. It's called flipping a coin.
We will see. Okay,
Leave
we
it
will
up to
see.
fate.
We will
You'll
see. Another 1-0 matchup here. UNC Chapel Hill versus the UCF Rods. It's North Carolina versus Orlando. How are you feeling about this match, K-Bot?
I'm taking the Rods here. I think they've got this one pretty handedly. I don't see UNC Chapel Hill in the queues right now. That said, I mean, the Rods still are like a very experienced team. They've been here before, right? And even if, it's a slightly different looking roster, right? These players all know each other, that they've been playing with each other. They just threw these two teams in this year, or this semester to see what comes of it. So give me the Rods here. I like them. Just take this one.
Beautiful. Fun.
I think for this one, I mean, UCF, like, I don't know. They've always got, like, the names are always, they've got the meme advantage, right?
Oh, yeah.
They always have the funny names. They got the Rods, or UCF Rods, right? This one?
Yes.
Not the Rogs, just to be clear.
That's right.
Rods. Okay. Yeah. And I'm going to go
with.
Yeah, I'm definitely going with them this week over Chapel Hill. I think that while Chapel Hill has a pretty experienced player in the letter B, I am actually a pretty strong believer. Once again, I'm going to show a bit of my bias to the goalie position, where I said this last week, and I'll probably say it again. I have a pretty strong amount of belief in their goalie, Amy. And I also think that the forward duo of Nats 18 and Peewis are going to be able to find a way to get the ball in the net more consistently than the other forward pairs. I think it's just going to be a 2-0, and I think I'm just going to leave it at that. I think they're just coming to get business done. So simple as that. It's a 2-0 for the Rods.
2-0 for the Rods. So we got Rods. Borg, what are we thinking? What are we cooking here?
I'm inclined to agree. I'm a big Peewis fan. However, looking at this, the rest of the matches here, I think this is a more safe bet in my eyes. I think I'm gonna need the Chapel Hill to take the big L here, and I think letter B is gonna do that for me. So I'm gonna go Chapel Hill for my pick here.
All right, gotcha. All right, so 3Z.
That's crazy.
That is nuts. But hey,
What?
I mean,
We all know what I'm doing.
We all know what you're doing, and also letter B has said in the CCL Discord server that they are a hostage. So we'll see if that plays into.
I'm playing into the letter B persona here.
Yeah. So
Knowers know.
We'll make it work. 3Z, what are you thinking?
Hostage is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Rods as well. I've seen these players play before in CCL. Like Vaughn said, I've seen Amy play in solo queue. think they're a consistent goalie, especially at this level. So I think the Rods are going to take this one pretty decisively.
I'm also gonna agree with most of the desk here. President Peewis, Nats, all doing great stuff out there in Orlando. I will see you guys in October. Give me the Rods here, but UNC Chapel Hill, keep your heads high. I mean, I feel like that this UNC team could turn some heads this season. So one loss won't kill you. You gotta get 4 wins to get into the play-in. So keep that in mind there. Next one up, a 0-1 match between two of these teams. RPI Strikers, formerly known as Team RPI, they have changed their name for this week, versus West Valley Storm Strikers, Girly Grippers, Sage, and Blades. We'll see what happens there, but K-Bot, what do you think?
I'm still sticking with my Clarion Corp charts here. I think this one is going to be pretty even. I think this will be a close match for both teams. And I think both teams have the possibility to end up middle of the pack, squeak in a playoff spot, here or there. So this one could be important when it comes to tiebreakers later in the season. I like West Valley here overall because I think they're in the queues more. I think they're a little hungrier than the RPI team, though I know both squads have been playing together for some time. But give me West Valley here. I'll take that.
Gotcha. Fun.
There's no way I'm gonna vote against Malphite Lover in a match close as this. The shard of the monolith. Malphite Lover, you and I need to talk. You need to learn about Red Death Malphite. So my DMs are open. For people who don't know, I was a League of Legends coach. I peaked quite high on the ladder. Like, I got paid to do it. It was like my job. So I love Malphite. It was how our team made our nationals run in collegiate League of Legends. So I have to give the edge to Team RPI simply because of Malphite Lover's name. And I think that this could go either way. Honestly, it's like a flip of the coin, and I'm going with where my heart is. I'll always go with the names that I think are funnier if it's too close to call. So this is going to be a series that I actually want to watch because I think it's a bit of a statement game for a lot of these teams tussling around the like plat diamond average, trying to figure out their identities, making like a nice like for a lot of these teams, a goal should be to make playoffs, in my opinion. So it's a good, reasonable goal for these teams that are trying to climb up the ranks. So this is a big one. This is going to matter a lot for their end of season things. Like I know it's early on, but this is a win that's going to make a big difference come the end of the season between you're a 3-win team or a 4-win team. So I'm going with Team RPI, but I'll give it 2-1. I think it'll be close.
Okay, split desk so far. Borg, what are you cooking?
I'm also a believer in the fact that it'll be a close game, really unique one. This is one that I definitely will try to watch if I can. Definitely keep my eye on this one. And similar to Vaughn, but different player here, Daniel Sodium, once again gracing my coming out of my lips, I guess. I don't know. Sorry, that sounded a little sus, but you know what I mean here. I love talking about this guy as much as I can. Daniel Sodium, and also I'm a big fan of AJ Cannon in the casting, so cool guy there. Gotta shout both of them out. Malphite Lover's already been talked about here, so I don't gotta bring that up. But I'm gonna take it 2-1 as well. Same thing as Vaughn, 2-1 RPI. I'm just saying similar as last season, how I always voted against Lakeland. I'm gonna do the opposite, but for Team RPI this season. So
Okay.
gonna be voting for him every
You're
single week.
doing what you did for GMU. You always.
Oh, I did. I
Yeah.
forgot I did do that for
Yeah.
GMU. Yeah, I did do that. Big GMU guy.
Shout out
But
TMU. Beautiful.
shout out Team RPI taking this 2-1.
Perfect.
Let's
2
go.
for RPI, 1 for West Valley, I believe. So 3Z. What are you thinking?
I think I might be tying it up here.
Okay.
As much as it pains me to vote against two demons known as Daniel Sodium and Malphite Lover, and also shout out to AJ Cannon, absolute chiller, developing caster. You love to see that. But West Valley Storm Strikers did grace us with their presence at the Arizona LAN. I remember meeting them there, or at least a couple members. So I think I'm going to go with them. I've seen them play again together for an extended period of time, and I think that they're a solid team at this level. So I'm going to go with West Valley.
All right, I guess I need to break a tie here. It's between the Grippers and the Sodium. So I don't know if. Oh god, that was way too much sodium there. Jeez. But oh no, that was way too much. Oh.
Did you just pour salt in your mouth?
Unconcentrated sodium right here. Yeah. Because I was eating lunch in here.
Just wait till
Your
you
name
see
is
what
not
he's calling.
Daniel.
Woo,
Why don't you,
my
why
name
don't
is
you
not
stay out of your
Daniel.
lane? Stay in your lane,
Yeah.
buddy.
I need to stay in my
Yeah,
lane here.
leave that to Daniel.
I'll leave that to Daniel here.
Daniel.
However, the girly grippers did not phase me, and I love girly grippers. Give me West Valley here, West over East every day of the week. I love you, Westies. I love you. No, but for real though, I think West Valley can bounce back after a disappointing loss. I think RPI though, they just need some more time to click together. They need some more time to stew, you know. So I love AJ, I love Malphite, I love Daniel Sodium. These guys are great. I think West Valley takes this one, however. So that is it for that. Next up, the next match here on Odyssey Interactive, a heavy hitter. And they were like, yo, Dylan, can we get the earliest match time? Sure, man. Let's go. Have some fun here. NJIT, the Highlanders versus the RIT Orange Tigers. It's an East battle, New York versus New Jersey. Who's going to take this one?
I've got NJIT here. Nassel forward duo. I don't think you can get much better than that. Okay, maybe not technically Nassel. Nassel level, let me say, for sure. It's going to be real hard to be RIT Orange here. I know I'm voting against RIT Orange again. I know Beepo is going to talk in the chat about how much I hate them in particular, and I'm sorry. But the brain just, the brain does not get me there today. Put NJIT up there.
NJIT, Vaughn.
I'll probably never vote against NJIT unless it's UCLA. I was the #1 RIT fan last week, and I really liked that they came out and got a win, especially because that team has a lot of individually good players. So Unfortunately, I will still be giving you the NJIT. It will be 2-0. I think actually they have some of the best players in each position in CCL. Like Krimbus is like a pretty strong brawler. But the problem is I really think, especially recently, I've been playing against him a lot. I think Mirimeg there's been a marked improvement from my point of view when I play against him in scrims, and it's currently the off season, so I've been filling in from time to time. Been impressed. So I think it's hard to kind of top someone who has been a national playoff contender, been top 8 at multiple S tiers. That's a pretty solid resume for a brawler player. So NJT 2-0, but by no means is RIT like. It's not like there's no reason it has to be a slaughter. Like, I'm not saying it won't be close, but I just can't ever vote against this NJIT team. They just look like too strong. So that'll be my prediction. I think it's gonna be a 2-0, but maybe in the playoffs this could be a different story.
All right, Borg, you feeling the same way?
I am feeling the same way, but I'm currently doing the math right now on how I need to vote. This is a hard, like I said, this is a hard week. So like a lot of these games are toss-ups. Like the third and the first game was a hard one.
This is your most certain bet, essentially. Like
so
yeah.
This could be the week where like there's a bunch of upsets too. You never know. So
yeah, I mean, I think realistically, I think I already do have a certain loss. Yeah, it's hard to say. I can't even say that really. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go with the gas up instead of the talk down.
W.
I believe in the NJIT squad. Same thing. I think playing against 2 players like Mirameg and Katsuna, now renamed to Don't Remember, Don't Care. I believe in both them. I think both beasts of players. I think Storm has obviously been really improving as well. And then I think RIT Orange, I don't want them to lose this game at all. I think it'd be really awesome if they won, but I think I need to see them topple one of the top teams that we've all looking at to really prove to me that they deserve my vote in a lot of these tough games. So I'll go with NJIT for now, but I'm taking a look. I'm going to take a look at this game, all right?
All right, all NJITs so far, 3Z.
Yeah, it's going to be a 4th one from me. I do really like RIT Orange. Again, another team that's played together for a long time. And I value that, as well as their continued dedication to playing and improving. I think they're still an improving squad, as most of these teams are. I haven't seen Katsuna play a lot, but I've seen him play from time to again. Mirimeg and Storm, though, have been grinding the game. So they're pretty much in top form right now. So I don't really see them losing to most teams in the league. So I'm going to go NJIT.
I'm also going to go NJIT here. Sorry, RIT, but I think it's going to be 2-1. I think RIT has some flavor, has some flair in this league. But NJIT, man, they are just like the #1 Texas Longhorns in football right now. They are the Yukon Huskies at the moment in this league. They are just the one team that everyone's saying is going to bring a championship to Newark, New Jersey. So I think it's NJIT here. It's going to be 2-1, but don't count out the Tigers just yet. Next up, right after that, we've got a cool, great new B team matchup. Texas A&M White, this is their first ever time having a B team, and Esports at OSU Orange, another first time B team for both these schools. That will be happening directly after RIT versus NJIT. Fellas, what are we thinking?
Don't know that much about any of the players in this lobby, so I did a little Clarion chart checking, and the charts give this one to Esports at OSU Orange. I think in every individual role, they're slightly higher or slightly more consistent in their solo queue play, and that's all I've got to go on. So give me Esports at OSU Orange.
Fun.
Both these teams still looking for their first win. I'm going to double down on the Orange prediction. I'm going to give them a 2-0. I think that I look at the matchup here. I'm curious to see what these teams are going to do on the main stage. Always a bit like nerve-wracking to be on the Odyssey channel for a featured match. Doesn't really matter what it's for. There's just kind of, you're going to get more viewers than if it's streamed on another channel, and you kind of get put in the limelight a bit. And I understand firsthand how that can get some of those. You can get some of those jitters from that. So I am going to go with Orange. I think they're going to find their first win here. While I don't want to sleep on White, I have to choose between one of these teams. I'm going to go with Orange. This is going to be a nice way for us to take a peek at some of these fully newly formed teams. It's really a toss-up, and as much as flipping a coin. From our perspective, obviously these players have something to prove. But when it's your first time in the league, your goal is to improve, learn, and take things away from the game and watch the other teams compete, maybe that have been doing it a bit longer. So this is a good chance for these two teams to potentially play a more evenly matched opponent from one another. So looking forward to it. I think it's going to be Orange. I'll give it a 2-1, and if I get it wrong, hey, players on, Tamu White, feel free to ping me or something and say in your face, I'll take it on the, I'll take that one. Prove me wrong.
Love that. Borg.
Esports at OSU Orange. Gonna have to vote for them for the simple reason of Father Borg must vote for Holy OS.
Amen.
Simple as that.
Amen. Love to hear that. Thrazy.
Yeah, speaking of Holy OS, that is the one player that I think I've seen in solo queue before, and for that reason and that reason alone, I'm going to give Holy OS's team, Esports at OSU Orange, the victory here this week. K-Bot's supporting evidence doesn't hurt as well. He's been looking at the charts, doing his research. So yeah, that'll help my case as well. I'm gonna go with OSU Orange this week.
I do have a little bit of stake in the game. It's not because of it's a Texas team. I helped. Yes, before we sound the sirens, I did help form both of Texas A&M Esports' teams this year. I ran their tryouts for my boy Pierce. Shout out, Pray the Turtle, Texas A&M president. You my homie. However, this A&M White team is a little bit frazzled, right? Maroon, we built it because we had Reapers from fall 2023. Ada, some guy was the only goalie at the university at all, and Sweatproofed is pretty dang good. Got all the way up to Pro League, and just has never played in a tournament before. So I was like, yeah, let's throw these guys together, and then the rest of them were kind of mushed together to make a second roster. But I still think that this is going to be a trial by fire. They got to be working with it. So give me Esports at Oregon State Orange here. Give it to me 2-0. However, this A&M White team might be able to make some noise as they improve, as they get better throughout the season. The Texas bias has been quashed. Maybe, who knows? Because right now, we're going to talk about the last game on the schedule, a banger of a match at 10 p.m. Eastern right here on Odyssey Interactive. Longhorn Esports from Texas at Austin versus Lakeland University, champions of fall and runners-up of spring. What are we thinking here, fellas?
This is one heck of a prime time matchup. Longhorn Esports, we've been hyping them up the whole season. Will they actually deliver versus a storied collegiate program in Lakeland? It's hard to tell based on the data we have now. Call it a feeling, though. I think I'm taking Longhorn here, and I can't blame Dylan for picking them later. So no Texas bias sirens going to get announced here. I do like Longhorn here. I think the synergy between everyone in their roles, not only do I trust, like, say, in this case, Maple Leaf here, more than Big Mac stepping in as the last kind of person here compared to the other duos that have decent synergy. But I do think that the sum of all of the synergy across all three players is going to be incredibly important here for the Longhorn squad. I think they want it this year. I am not going to be surprised to see Lakeland fall early. I was a Lakeland supporter in the past, but I'm afraid they might not have my vote this year. Give me the Longhorns.
Okay, Vaughn.
I'm down with the Longhorns. Let's see it. I'm down. I don't even know who's technically playing, whether it's this Big Mac person or if it's this Crimson Flame person. I think Soren is arguably the best player in the league, depending on who you ask. They have a bit of a beast, has gotten multiple S tier grand final appearances this past year. More than one online and in lands. Made a pretty crazy losers bracket run at New York Sealand with his teammates, the Joker and NXCD. So that guy's a beast, and he's still joined by ET Han. But I always felt like, especially when I watched this grand finals last season, that low-key Mr. Mouse was like a bit of a heart and soul of that team.
Retweet.
That guy showed up to win, and he was a big reason. And it's not like the other two have gone any worse, but I just haven't seen what they look like without him. And this feels like a tester. Like I think this team that they're playing, Longhorn, is maybe a top 6 team at the least. I can't think of all the ones off the top of my head, but this is a team that could make a championship run if they really improve over this season. So I'm going to go with Longhorn as well. Crazy to think that I'm voting against the first and second place team, and I'm not sleeping on the players. I just have no idea how they'll look without Mouse. That guy really had something. He had something special with both Soren on defense and then also with ET Han. They had a real strong connection there, and it takes time to build that back up. So I'm going to go with Longhorn. I'm going to go 2-1 because I think I would be a fool to not give Lakeland at least one game, if not 2, and I'm strong. But yeah, let's go Horns. I'm down.
All right, Borg.
You know, Vaughn, you said it was crazy for you to vote against the number 1 and runner-up from last 2 seasons, but knowers know from last season, not crazy for me whatsoever, and I think I'm going to continue the streak. I'm voting for Longhorn Gaming, baby. Lakeland, you're not off my radar yet. I'm keeping you down. Sorry, Soren. I had to do it. I mean, it's too funny. It's and just so people know, I actually have talked to Soren about this, and you know, it is a talked about thing, and he hates it, and I'm gonna keep doing it, baby. Let's go. Nikki Minilin, take him to town.
Snake's mother. Second week I've mentioned that. 3Z Breezy.
Oh man, well you already know how I feel about this Longhorn esports team. Mr. Gopo, been singing his praises for a long time. Mentioned again this week, Coach Nikki Minilin. I think she's improved so much playing CCL. Then Maple Leaf holding it down in the box, just a solid squad. So hook 'em horns this week. They're going to be taking this one.
I was able to talk with Soren this week about the team, about Lakeland and everything. And quote, Soren says that once they figure out the third situation, they're pretty confident they can get top 3 by playoffs time. That's the only issue, though, is that they need to figure out which third they're going to be using. And they've got a whole smorgasbord of subs in the wings ready to go just in case they can go in. However, Longhorn Esports, this Longhorn Esports squad is nothing to shake on, nothing to scoff at. Maple, Flambeau, Nikki are all some of my best friends in the OS community. Well, I'm just going to say it right now. Horns are taking this one 2-0.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Lakeland, I mean, I like the team. I dislike the school. Okay, but look, Lakeland needs. It's okay if Lakeland falls this early. They'll be able to get back on their feet in no time. And plus, I mean, both of these teams have stat leaders from this past week. Highest goals per 10 minutes goes to ET Han with 7.035 goals per 10 minutes. Highest assists per 10 minutes goes to Nikki Minilin, 5.012. So either way, this is going to be a fireworks are going to be going off in this matchup, so stay tuned for that one at 10 p.m. Eastern right here on Odyssey Interactive. A short show this week compared to last week. Last week we kind of yapped a little too long. It's okay, though. That's totally fine. Shout out SLU for letting me wear the jersey this week, and I believe we'll get Slippery Rock will send me an esports jersey from them. So if you're on a CCL team and you want to send me a jersey, I'll ship it back. That's fine. I just want to wear it here on game day. So let me know about that. Next up here on this channel, we've got NJIT, we've got RIT Orange. You do not want to go anywhere. An amazing matchup is coming up right here next on this channel. Any final words, fellas?
Hey, best of luck to
Good luck,
everyone.
have
Looking
fun.
forward to the games, and this season's already starting off interesting, so I'm ready to watch.
They
Love
better
it.
win more.
Play better, win more.
Amen.
Indeed, amen. See you guys next week here on the channel. Adios. See you later. I don't know how to end this. Bye-bye.